Now, look, let's move on to the budget tomorrow night. The budget, like Oscars for people who love politics. Andrew Carswell, it's very clear now that there will be a surplus. It's only going to be a brief surplus before the budget is back in the red. Will this be something that Labor celebrates? And also, is this a sign of budget repair, or is this simply fiscal drag, more commodity revenue, higher commodity prices? You know, people are saying that this is, and Tom Jucevic wrote about it in The Australian today, you know, a case of luck for the Treasurer.
Yeah, and seasoned economists are also calling it luck as well. I mean, this is not genius. This is not fiscal responsibility. It is a treasurer standing at the till and counting the money that's coming in. I mean, when Jim Chalmers said at the weekend that this budget repair was because of the strong labour market and not anything to do with commodity prices, he told two fibs, two whoppers. I mean, when he delivered his mini budget in October, unemployment was lower than it is today. So there goes that argument. But then you suggest that this is not, the return in surplus is not as a result of the mining community. When you'll see tomorrow night, the mining community has increased its tax take by $14 billion a year. That is half of what the government needed to pull back to get the deficit get the budget back in surplus. But you mentioned bracket creep as well.
Yes.
I mean, it is ordinary Australians that are just going to work every day, paying their taxes and paying an increasing amount of taxes as they go up the income and break into new tax brackets. They are underpinning the strength of this budget.
Yeah, well, I think that figure was to the tune of $4 billion, which is quite extraordinary, that effect of bracket creep.
Yep.
Joe, what do you think?
I think this is, well, again, firstly, you can't say it's all just good luck when the Treasurer delivers a surplus, but the economic conditions are all the government's fault and have nothing to do with luck.
Well, you wouldn't have seen Josh Frydenberg standing up there and saying...
That's right. So either it's just the economy doing its thing and the government is neither to blame for the rising inflation as much as people are saying it is, which I think is true, and it is obviously caught, and you know, as they say in Labor Party circles, it's been kicked in the arse by a rainbow. Like, this is just the most incredible good luck. It's I think about a fifth commodity prices, and I think the Treasurer admitted that. He said, yeah, that's a big component of it, but it's also...
was it 20% or 40%, I think, was down to
I think he said 20%. I think he said it was a fifth. But obviously, you know, if you've got more and more people employed, including in the resources sector, and they're paying more and more taxes, they're not a drain on the welfare state, well, that's good. And that's something, you know, whether it's good luck or bad luck, that is something to be celebrated. And you talk about bracket creep. Well, the government's committed, again, despite pressure from its own side, to the stage 3 tax cuts. So, yes, they've caught an absolute huge bit of good luck, but they've also had the bad luck of what the economy has also been doing, and they've stayed fast on their commitment to aspirational Australians and the stage 3 tax cuts. So I honestly don't see what there is to criticise.
And look, we'll see whether there is much spending restraint tomorrow night. We're hearing, Andrew Carswell, I'll bring you back in on this, we're hearing today $14 billion in a cost of living package that Jim Chalmers says is going to be the centrepiece of his budget. So, Andrew, there is now going to be a debate about whether or not this adds to the inflation pressures, whether actually the fiscal policy is working in tandem with monetary policy, or whether this could put more pressure on the RBA to increase rates throughout the rest of this year.
Yeah, there certainly needs to be some care taken with the approach. The approach is right. There does need to be an element of money going into particularly vulnerable Australians that are doing it tough at this moment. And I'm sure that, you know, we'll get out the microscope on the budget on tomorrow night to work out whether there will be an inflationary aspect of what is delivered here or not.
All right, Andrew Carswell, Joe Hildebrand, great to see you as always for Monday night's panel, and looking forward to seeing what is in the budget tomorrow night, and I'll bring you that news on the show.